Hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of On the Boundary. Just two coaches chatting cricket. Mr. Spinash, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Luba. Uh, Hope you've good on your side.
I'm good, brother man. Today's the day. I'm sure you've been holding it back. You've been taking notes throughout the World Cup. But yeah, today's the day. But before we get into specifics about the Proteas and the World Cup campaign, just a question: how has the World Cup been for you, just in general? Just a general take on you from your side about the World Cup.
Uh, Generally, honestly, it's been cool that we've had a few close games, but uh, you know, T20 is a little more fun when you're getting those 150s, 160s. So 70 is not as great a watch as we are people who like low scoring games, but you don't want it to be 70 and 80 all out. So you like a 130 or 140. Those are more fun. But in general, I'd say I'm a little surprised at the turnouts. They weren't. I was hoping for a little better, but I was worried that it could have even been worse. So I'd say it's in the middle. So it's pleasantly surprised. I'd say the pitches, as main talking point for everybody, have been terrible, but that's part of cricket. You have to play on what you've got, and some teams have done that better than others. I'd say the small teams have actually done better than the big teams, which might show you that they used to pitches not being great. When you're coming up, you used to pitches not being great, and maybe the superstars have been used to betting on roads. So for them, it's been a tough World Cup. Your
Um,
side?
I hear you, Coach Ara, but I beg to differ when it comes to the pitches, and this is something that we have been disagreeing about, I think, since the World Cup started. For me, I'm happy with the pitches. I like them. They are okay. Let's say, especially the one in New York. That pitch was a typical test wicket, and I enjoyed. Man, I'm not a huge T20 fan, so whenever I see bowlers thriving in T20 cricket, it makes me happy, and I feel like I gain a bit of weight whenever I see bowlers doing well in T20 cricket. But like you said, turnout hasn't been great, but I don't know if maybe we aimed too high. I mean, it's the USA. A lot of people have been caught off guard. A lot of people didn't even know that they have a national team that plays cricket. So yeah, for me, I never thought the crowds were going to be there, but only for sides like your India and your Pakistan. But I'm not going to say why because I don't want to be misinterpreted. But they always try to fill up stadiums wherever their teams are playing. So for me, in terms of the pitches, yeah, they haven't been typical T20 pitches, which for me is good because you know how it is. Every World Cup season, we get flat decks. We see 400 scores being scored. We see 200 plus, 280s, and for me, that's not nice. I enjoy seeing batters need to work for their runs. So I'm happy with how things have been. But the only thing that I can complain about is probably the outfield, especially in New York, because you want to try and balance things out. If the pitch is not going to be on the batting side of things, at least you want to make the outfield a bit quicker. And the other thing that I'm concerned about is the pitches in West Indies. Those pitches, never mind the pitches, the fields are too small, bruh. It's like watching old guys playing on an under 13 field. So I don't know how the Proteas are gonna fare going there. I don't know how our bowlers are gonna do because the pitches won't favor seam bowlers mostly. But yeah, I think let's get into the Proteas. Let's talk about the first four games that the Proteas have played. We've scraped through in most games, and a lot of people are saying a win is a win. But the two of us being coaches suggest that we care about how the team wins. We care about how we win. So let's talk about how the Proteas have managed to go undefeated in the group.
I'm one of those who say a win is a win, especially when it comes to the Proteas. We need those. I'd rather be on the winning side of a tight one for once. But as you said, we care about how it's done and we care about the processes in between. Before I look at the bad parts, because you can't be scoring 100 every day and be happy about it. So we had Oatmeal Botman, who's been brilliant since game one. He's been like a lot of people didn't even know who he was. So him coming in and doing so well in his first World Cup, doing brilliantly for the Proteas, is he's been brilliant.
Yeah,
Then we have had Anas. I for one was I wouldn't say a doubter, but I was worried because
yeah,
we all know he's brilliant, but his form coming into the World Cup since his injury wasn't the greatest. So those are two big positives that I've had in this World Cup for South Africa, and obviously both spinners bowling well. That happens, even though that three-full toss over from Kesha wasn't that great. The outcome was, but other than that, he's bowled very well.
yeah,
KG has taken a while to get warm, but I think it was the third game where he actually bowled really, really well. And then Janssen hasn't been bad at also. So the bowling department for South Africa has been pretty good.
yeah,
Then we
yeah,
get into the bad part. Then we get into our worrying part. We went into the we went. I think we had what was it? World Cup preview show where we discussed the squad and all of that. And we
yeah,
said the worrying part is the bowlers. The batsmen picked themselves, and we were happy about the batsmen.
yeah.
4 games in, it's been the other way around. So
I think I
trust
think maybe we
us.
for- I think maybe we forgot how important it is to have a pitch that suits you as a batsman, because those guys were scoring runs left, right, and center just because before the World Cup. Ryan Rickleton was scoring runs in SA. Heinrich Clausen, Tristan Stubbs, David Miller. Those three guys were scoring runs in India in the IPL, except for someone like Ukwini, who wasn't scoring runs, still not scoring runs. Reza Hendricks was scoring runs also in the CSA T20 tournament. So I think we are justified for the call that we made, but I can say we can admit that we got it wrong.
Nah, I wouldn't even say we got it wrong, but these things happen. This is cricket. They just haven't performed. But going in, they were the guys. Ask any cricket pundit from all around the world. We had probably the scariest top six going into this tournament. So I'm not saying now we're not scary. We might get put on a road against USA and score 250 because these guys are still monsters. We all know that. But I think in this first 4 games, a lot of them haven't applied themselves as well as they should have. I was happy with 3 guys. I want to mention those 3 guys, especially Miller, who won us a game and a half. Uh, Clausen, who also was in that half a game when they won us the game. And then Tristan Stubbs, who has also tempered his game. I know we always disagree, you and I, on where he should bat in the order, but he's even surprised me with what he's been able to structure at number 4 for the Proteas. So I'm happy with that. I'm very worried for the opening two and Aiden, even though I'm a little less worried about Aiden, because my problem with the first two is they too tentative. Queenie is either gear 8 or on gear 1, and that's the problem. So every time an agent comes in, it's 2 overs in for nothing, or the ball's going in circles. So I'd like those openers to be a little more positive when we as the tournament goes on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. With Aiden, he's not that kind of person who's going to be neither here nor there. But the two guys at the top, it's like they believe if it's not working out, they can force it to work out for them. And in this format, they end up chowing a lot of balls. But yeah, our batting, I think, I don't know, man. I think for me, it's a mental thing. You can see the look on their faces, you can read their body language. Whenever they get to a pitch and it doesn't look like a pitch that's going to suit them, they sort of have this approach or this mentality that not another horrible pitch again. But those guys have made it work. There's guys who've scored 50s on the same pitches that our guys have struggled on. So I think for me, they need to take the pitch out of the equation. They need to forget about the pitch. They need to just tell themselves that we are going to go out there and we're going to score runs regardless of the pitch conditions. They are South African after all. Our pitches are some of the hardest to bat on. South Africa is one of the hardest places to bat on. So I don't understand why they have this mentality towards the pitch there. But then again, they were spoiled in the IPL. So I think it kind of makes sense. Um, there's a question around playing two spinners, coaching. But now the problem is if you pick a spinner, you can only drop one of the bowlers. You don't have an option to drop one of the batters. So my question is, and I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter, people saying a lot of stuff. Others are not happy with the name that other people are saying should be dropped. I'm not going to say the name, but I want to hear what you think. Let's say we're going into a match. We're playing on the same pitch that we played against Nepal. It's a pitch that requires more than one spinner. Who are you dropping for the spinner? And I'm assuming that spinner is going to be Gustav because he's already played a few matches and has done well.
Just wanted to mention a name that would solve a lot of problems right now. If we were to have had him around the system, around the squad, his name is George Lender. So a guy like that, I feel, because right now, if I'm dropping a bowler, sadly, it would be Janssen, but he's not a bowler. He's an all-rounder. So now he cancels himself out, sort of. So now we're stuck in this conundrum where the best candidate to drop now is probably the most experienced guy, the leader of the squad, the leader of the bowling squad. So you're doing that not off your head because it's such a you can't get this decision right if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Theoretically, on paper, without humans, he'd be the one dropped. But it's humans and it's not on paper, and he is the leader of that bowling squad. And there's also a little bit more to it than just him being the leader of the bowling squad. So it's going to be a really tough decision for whoever has to make it. Because, as I said, leading into this show, Batman and Anas have been special. So dropping one of them is going to be really tough.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a hard one. I was looking at the numbers actually when a few people said he was the worst performing in the side, and I think using the term the worst is to some extent an exaggeration because if you look at his numbers, he's one of two bowlers to have bowled a maiden. He has the same economy rate as Keshav Maharaj. So he hasn't necessarily been that bad. Also, his economy rate went up after the game against Nepal, and I'm sure everyone who was watching could see that the guys were just not up to it in terms of the approach and their mentality and body language. You could see that maybe the coach should have given other guys a chance because it was a dead rubber. Maybe some of the guys were thinking, we could have taken a break today. It's been a long tournament. They come from the IPL, so I don't know. But I think it's going to be a tough decision for so many reasons. Having Okagiso Rabada in the side is huge, and I think regardless of how he's bowling, batters will always have second thoughts. They will always be doubtful when it comes to facing him. So, also, there's another point we cannot ignore the fact that dropping him is going to have such a buzz on social media on that day. Should the 11 that is picked on the day not have Kagiso Rabada, oh my God. I am probably going to disappear from social media for a while if that happens.
Uh, as I said, when I said there's more to it than him just being the leader of the squad, so it's going to be a tough decision. As I said, in a way, you'd hope Aiden had already bought himself a little bit more. You'd hope that Aiden had already given Tristan Stubbs an over of two. Then we could have actually even not needed the out and out second spinner, and then played around with Stubbs and Aiden Markram. But at the moment, we sort of do need that second spinner. That Nepal game called out loudly for a second spinner, but we didn't have one. So you can't pick 12, so someone is going to have to sit out. Uh, I'm weird. I might even have gone. I don't like doing this because if we had another extra guy who can tweak it, and I mean like Aiden level or even Stubbs and Aiden level. So if you had three of them, because I don't think Riza is at that level yet. I don't think Clausen's at that level. So those two are real part timers in my book.
Yeah.
So if you had another Stubbs and you had another Aiden, and you're going to those pitches that turn square or need a spinner, we could even go with seven batsmen and play for out and out
Bowler.
bowlers because and then your spinning would be done by Shamsi or Keshav. But I think Shamsi for me is a little ahead at the moment.
Yeah.
You play Shamsi, you play Aiden, you play Stubbs, and you have the third spinner if that was available. But now I don't trust Klassen or Hendricks
Yeah.
enough for me to throw, even if it's one over of Klassen, one like 2 overs of Aiden, 1 over of Stubbs, that's four. But now you're forced to bowl the other four for 16 overs, which once you have part timers, you like to have that leeway of your top four having to bowl, let's say 14 or 15, stealing one or two from there, and then your part timers sharing a little more than 4 overs. But at this moment, it's all tough decisions that need to be made. And it's all because we're also not batting that well.
Yeah, no, coach. I think for me the missing piece of the puzzle is the guy that you spoke of earlier, but I think he also wasn't in great form, so it doesn't help the cause. George Linder would have made a massive difference, or anyone who is in the mold of a George Linder, someone who can hit the ball and who can bowl off spin or finger or wrist, doesn't matter the type of spin that he bowls. But also the
Yeah.
fact that the fact that he wasn't necessarily in form doesn't help the cause. But yeah, I want to put you on the block here, coach. You've got you've got one extra batter in the squad. You have the top three that's misfiring. Ne? So now I want you to pick the team. You have a top order batsman who's a keeper that is on the bench. Sure. You've got a top three that is misfiring. In your top three, you've got your captain. So he's not going anywhere. He's going to play definitely. The same song we sang when Temba Bavuma was struggling for form is the same song we are going to sing with Aiden Makram
With Aiden.
and his lack of form. Exactly. He's captain, he starts. Now it leaves you with these two guys. You've got Reza Hendricks, right-handed batter. He's done well in recent years. I know he scored a 40-ish in the last game, but it was a proper struggle. You've got Queenie, left-handed bat, wicket-keeper batsman. He's also been struggling for quite some time now. Pick your top three. You already have Aiden Makram in your top three. Do you say, Rix, let's give you a shot. Let's see how you're gonna do. I think our next game is against USA, so I think we can afford to try that out. Would you try it out, or would you say, you know what, I'm gonna carry on with my experienced guys?
uh, asked me that a week ago before the Nepal game, and I'm playing Ryan for sure. After the Nepal game, I'm not playing Ryan. And from the start of the tournament, I wanted Ryan to play. I was one of those who were saying Queenie is so out of form that I'd even risk not playing him and going straight with Riza and Ryan. But the decision has been made, and they've played Riza and Queenie for the first three games, and then the fourth game. So once that fourth game was played, I had to say Ryan's going to carry water for most of the tournament now. That's I want to say that's the easy one out, especially because nobody else has been performing. So yes, the middle order have scored some runs, but we haven't been on 180 wickets and scoring runs, big runs. So to drop Riza now after he scored 40 won't happen, even though you said it was run a ball 40 and it was a proper struggle. If you wanted to hit a six, but you're still going at a run of ball and it was a proper struggle. Uh, Queenie is Queenie, and same thing we said about KG. It's tough to drop people like Quinton de Kock, especially when he's not like a sore thumb sticking out from everyone else being performing, and then he's the one who's struggling. So at the moment, sadly to say, Ryan would watch the next game for me. I know what you're saying. The USA one could look at it that way, but I'm one of these who's, as you say, a win is a win. And once you get into that, I'm not even 100% sure how the point system is going to work now. Do we carry any points over from the previous group?
No, I don't think so. You don't carry any points. You must start from zero.
So if you start from zero, then every game is a must win. So
Yeah.
that's what I believe at the moment.
Yeah, no, I feel you, coach, and I think I'm with you on that, but I don't want to put my head on the block. So I think let's just agree to let Rob do his job for a change. Instead of picking the team for him, let's let him pick his own team. He did, after all, pick his own squad. So yeah. Just before we wrap it up, what is your prediction? Do you think the Proteas can make it out of this group? What are your predictions? If you remember, I said the Proteas are winning this tournament, and my head is still saying that. My heart is doubtful, but my head is still saying we are winning the tournament. So I'm still going to stick to that. My head is also saying we are winning all our games in this group. I don't know what your head or your heart is saying, coach.
Uh, I'm of the belief that we've had our weird pitches and we've stuck that out and we went 4 out of 4. Just give us one road, just one road. Uh, Australia versus England was a road. They got 200, 200. There was a recent one where Scotland scored 180 or 190 against Australia. Decent road. Give us something. I believe we are one road away from looking world beaches again. So if they give us N1 or what are the roads they call them, N3, all these roads, just one. We just need
I
one
think
highway.
I think N3 is better. N2 might be a bit small.
Just give us one highway, just one. That's all I'm asking for, Koji. We get a highway, we get reasons and clean it. Because there was it just before the World Cup, Queenie hit a few in the warm up game and looked like he was, I wouldn't say back in it, but looked like he was starting to hit it. There's been games here in the World Cup. Yes, he hasn't, I don't think he has gotten a 20 in this whole World Cup, but he has hit a six and he has looked a little fluent when he's doing it. So we just a road away from this team clicking and scoring 250. I'm not even calling it 200. That's how big this top six is for me. We get a road, we're going 250.
Yeah, let's hope we are one road away. Let's hope we get a road against the USA, the host nation, so that we can show them how cricket is played, because they've been showing us how baseball is played. And there's been a lot of debates since the tournament started. Baseball's better, cricket is better. But coach, you still haven't given me the prediction. You have just asked for a road. I am asking you, what is your prediction? Do you think the Proteas will survive in this group, or do you think not so much?
Nah, survive is the wrong word. I think we win at least two of these games, and then we will qualify. I do feel we win all three, but a lot of me feels at least two, and then we will qualify. And then semifinals and semifinals, we'll see what happens then. But I don't see the English team that has been playing in this World Cup. You know, it's T20 and they could surprise you, but I'm beating USA and England, West Indies being West Indies on their day, and us struggling against weird people like Akil Hussein. We might struggle against left arm spin again. But then what was that? The other left arm orthodox, Moti, I
Yeah,
think.
that Morty guy. Yeah,
Yeah, Moti. So those two are the only ones that worry me. Otherwise, we also snacking that team. So I'm very confident about this group. I don't want to talk a lot about USA because it's USA, but there's been a lot of weird chat. If you're on TikTok, there's one guy who was already called USA beating South Africa, uh, beating West Indies, especially if West Indies lose to Afghanistan, something like that. It's like, oh,
mm.
we got it, West Indies into the semifinal, like USA into the semifinal. We'll see. Let's watch and see. The nice thing about playing USA is there's not a lot of mystery. Right? The That's what we struggle with as as South Africa. Any team which has a weird bowler, someone who does something out of the ordinary, usually gets to us. You bring
Yeah.
orthodox medium pace, especially medium pace. We'll see.
Oh wait, nah, it's
Yeah.
I agree, coachy. But for me, I'm saying we're getting 3 out of 3. Uh, if we don't, I might just disappear. But yeah, I think let's wait and see. I have a good feeling. Okay, my head is telling me that the Proteas are gonna win this, but each time I watch them play, my heart is like, you're being an idiot. But we're gonna see, Coachy. Is there anything you want to say so that we can just quickly wrap it up, and then wait for the group matches to see how the Proteas go?
There's one thing I'd like to say. I've watched Aiden since under 19s, and that's when I started this thing. I said I'm not as worried about him in that top three. Yes, he's going to play every game, but not just because of that. Because someone get us to the semi-final, when it really matters is when Aiden starts playing. So I've got that hope, and he hasn't looked out of form for me, which is one thing that I always look at when I look at a player not scoring runs. There's that extra cover drive for six he played in, was it the first or the second game? That's Aiden. So Aiden is around. He's just had his weird shot every now and then. He edged a good one to slip. He missed a straight one. That was weird for me.
He plays one sexy cover drive, or plays one sexy shot over extra cover, and then the next minute he looks like he's not capable of playing any cricket at all. That's Aiden for you.
Yeah. Yes, for me, and I feel like let it make matter, like semi-final or yes, that's what I'm hoping for semi-final because I think we should get through here, get through, and then hopefully the real Aiden Markham comes out. We've already seen the real Miller. We've seen a bit of Clausen. We haven't seen the real Clausen yet, but we've seen a bit of Clausen. We've seen a bit of Stats. Once those four, for me, yes, I want the top two to perform, but I really need that middle order to click. Even if the top two don't do as well as they should, one of them scores a 20, one of the other one scores a 15, Aiden gets in the fifth over, and then the top four perform, we're winning most games.
Oh, wait, nah, I'm with you, Coachy. I'm with you. It's been a proper chat as always, and hopefully the next time we chat, we'll be chatting about the momentum Proteas. I don't know if you watched that game yesterday. It was tough, but yeah,
Uh,
we will have a chat about them probably after the series, after the women's ODI series. But for now, I think we can say we're done for the day for the show. And you know how it is, man. We appreciate the love, and we hope that everyone's enjoying the episodes that we keep dishing out. Whoever has questions, we're always available. You can ask questions. If you have suggestions, we also take those because, like I said the other time, this is something new to us. We are learning, but we are definitely enjoying it. Yeah, uh, Coach R, I want to call you pre-World Cup winner, but I don't want to jinx it. It's been a good one.
yeah, thanks, coaching. As you say, support us, but also support the Proteas. Let's keep going, guys.
Cheers.